Yes, I'm filming this straight after the last one, and yes, I changed my shirt because continuity can suck my So, I've been writing a book for about 2 years now, and it's a lot harder than you think to write a book. I mean, or like a story. It's not as easy as just going, oh, there's characters, they do this, they do that. I mean, for some people that's like how it works, and they get ideas really quickly and they can pump out a novel in about 6 months or even a month, and that's what NaNoWriMo is. But I didn't do NaNoWriMo last November. I put it on my account and I registered to do it, but I didn't get around to writing anything, and I was slightly annoyed at myself for that, but like, I just did not have any ideas. And from my previous videos, you probably know I get writer's block a lot, and I'll get like severe writer's creativity block where I don't have any ideas, and that's what stops me making YouTube videos, and that's why I go on hiatuses for like 3 months at a time and all that. So it's really hard coming up with ideas for videos and for a novel when you've got this kind of creativity block. I focus way too much on the characters and making the characters and all that. It's kind of hard to explain, but I won't just come up with a name and an age and physical appearance. I'll come up with their birthday, something like what year it was, and I'll set the scene. My novel is set in a real life location. I've never been there because I found it on Google Maps, you know, whatever. And it's quite generic, but also not. I guess if I put location markers, and I was tempted to do this, but I'm not going to in my book, put location markers as to where things are, as in mention place names that are quite specific to the area that then would set the scene. Because I feel like, as well as placing my book in a real life place, it'd be better off adapting that to how it was or how it could be, and that's the whole thing with futuristic novels. Mine isn't futuristic, but I've got another one that I'm working on that is a bit futuristic, but I guess I really shouldn't be working on 2 novels at the same time. You know, it happens, but like with a futuristic novel, you've got a lot more creative control because no one knows what the future is going to be like. We could live on a different planet and all that, and it's up to you. Whereas if you do something set in the past, really, everything's really there for you and you can't really change it. If you don't specify a place, then you have slight creative control, because like you can add things that could be in the place, but people can't like go back and check. Yeah, you get me? I've known these characters for like 2 years now, and 2 years since November, because I did start them in NaNoWriMo. That's where I started my novel. It went a completely different direction when I first started it. Annoyingly, the word count hasn't changed much in 2 years. It's still stuck on like 15,000, which is quite annoying for me because like I really want a big novel, or bigger than what 15,000 words has let me say, and I feel like that's really funny that the word count hasn't really changed. Anyway, so it started off as a completely different idea. Well, not completely different, I feel like it went in a different direction and it had a different storyline, and the characters were a little bit different, and some of the characters that are there now didn't even exist, and I feel like it's really interesting having worked on the book and seeing the characters change and all that. And things that happen when you work with characters a lot is they'll tell you things, and I've tried to explain this to people and they think it's a really weird concept, but I'm probably talking to the wrong people. Like, you know, it's a bit hard to understand for some people, but my main character told me he was gay. I didn't like make a conscious decision of, hey, I'm gonna have a gay main character. Not that it would matter if I did, but at one point I reread the story and it's like, oh shit, he's gay. And it surprised me, but then I kind of was like, oh, that's like why I wrote that bit. And it was really kind of surreal to me because I'd written this bit that really made sense with him as a gay character, but I wrote it without knowing that. I don't know. Look, it's weird and it's hard to explain, but it did. I'm slightly hesitant to reveal the plot of my story before I kind of publish it anywhere or write a lot more of it. because not that someone would steal my idea, but I feel like they could, and it'd be harder to track down the copyright. That would be harder to detect that someone had copied my idea without me having a thing to search it from. Does that make any sense? I don't know. But yeah, if you guys would like to hear more about my novel or more about my writing process or whatever, then leave a comment and I might do another one. And I might publish it on a website, maybe? I don't know. Like, maybe. I don't know. I want to see if I can make it into a film, but I feel like I'm gonna make it into a book first because I originally wrote it as a book. You know, it's difficult. But I've got so much more to write and I've been coming up with a lot more ideas lately, so that is good, so I'm getting on with it a bit. I mean, writing it in my head, I haven't like put many words down recently, which is annoying. And I'm rambling, so I'm going to finish this video, and thanks for watching. Bye!